In this video, we're going to take a look at what's the best side hustle for you. So we're going to figure it out together. All right, so if you're trying to make some money on the side, you're probably thinking of considering some side hustles. And although there's a lot of side hustle ideas out there, like starting a blog, some of those things just take a long time to actually get to work and actually make money from them. I know because I've done it, and it takes some time sometimes for those things to actually kick in. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some side hustles that you could actually go ahead and just jump right into. But for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different because, you have a little bit of different skill set than somebody else. You might have different talents. And that's the point, is to discover what side hustle makes sense for you. Because some side hustles, they may make you a lot more money, but it's not the right fit for you. So that's what we're going to go into and cover in this episode. So how do we find the right side hustle for you? So you might want to take a look at things that you like and things that you don't like. You might be able to put up with some things that you don't like if the money's worth it for a little while. But again, you got to look at how long am I really going to do this for? So that's kind of one of the last points here. But what skills and talents do you have? What's your edge? For example, if you have a talent of some sort, maybe you're more handy, more crafty, that could be a bigger edge because you could do those types of work or tasks a lot easier than other people. And what resources do you have available? For example, if you don't have a car, you might not be able to do some of the things that require of the task or the side hustle. So for example, being an Uber driver, delivery driver, if you don't have a vehicle, you just might not be able to make it happen. Or even worse, you might not even have a driver's license. So looking at kind of this list, like what do you like, what do you not like, what skills or talents do you have? All that slowly starts to funnel you into different types of side hustles that make sense for you. So even though you might say, hey, I really enjoy paper crafting, but you just might not have the time resource, or you might not be able to get the supply of the paper. So again, that's going to limit you now maybe in other areas. Maybe you're in an area where there's a ton of people who have dogs in that neighborhood. So use those resources available to you. And maybe you're not the biggest pet person, but those are the resources you have available. So it might be wise to hop into that side hustle if you're only looking to do it for the next month or two. So let's start things off, and I'm going to go into number one. And this is, if you enjoy driving, know the city, and lots of free time, you might want to consider being an Uber or Lyft driver. This may include also food delivery like DoorDash, Instacart, Uber Eats, and this is kind of going to net you about $18 per hour. So average Uber driver makes in the US is about $18.60 per hour. So that's about $36,000 per year. Again, that doesn't include like maintenance for your vehicle and that kind of thing, because there are some expenses you have to deal with. But if you're retired, maybe you want to make some side hustle income from here, or maybe you're just don't have a job during the summer and you want to go ahead and take people and you like working on your car, then this could be a great side hustle for you. Let's take a look at another one here. And in this case, let's say you're good with school subjects, sports, or maybe kids. So you could consider being a tutor, which you could do online or in person, or you can babysit if you're into playing kids. Now, there's also things that you could do regarding this, is you could do this stuff online. So take a look at things on Fiverr here. Here is I will teach you Ableton Live and music production lessons. And if you look at all these music lessons, there's a ton of people out there that are willing to, provide services there. And it's, usually it'll take them about an hour or less than an hour, depending on if it's just a Zoom call or if it's kind of one-on-one sessions. But you can see the gigs, they're not like thousands of gigs out there that are reviewed, but still periodically you might get a gig here or there. And if you're looking to do this in the long term, just to make in some side income, it's okay that there's not thousands of reviews here, because maybe you're just looking for 1 or 2 gigs a month. And, if I'm looking for, let's say, guitar lessons, let's take a look at this. You can see there's, 169 people purchased that gig, 31 reviews here, 75 reviews there, 17 here. So there are some attractions and some areas that do get bites and nibbles for these kinds of things. But, it's not something like design logo, which you'll probably see thousands of reviews here. So you can see 1,000, so there's a ton of stuff there that get much more traction. So again, what are you kind of good with? And if you take a look at, hey, are you good with some school subjects, sports, or kids? Then you could be a tutor in different areas, whether that's math, science, and other things. Okay, so if we take a look at people who like to stay at home and good with computers, there's a lot of also freelancing gigs, which is kind of what we were just at. And freelancing, there's a ton of stuff out here. So I want to open you up a little bit further here. So things with Photoshop editing, flyer design, brochure design, signage, there's a lot of things that you could do. And again, it just depends on the skill set. If you're into digital marketing, like search engine optimization, search engine marketing, SEO, local SEO, email marketing, video marketing. There's also a ton of things with writing and translations. So if you're interested in doing some writing for blogs, cover letters, resumes, podcast writing, there's just a ton of things out there. And again, just depending on your skill sets, what is it that you have that maybe other people are interested in purchasing? What is it that you can offer them? If you're into music, that's kind of what we just talked about. Programming and tech, again, more things there. Data science, databases, business, and lifestyle. So there's a lot of stuff out there that you could do. As for freelancing online, I would say probably the most lucrative ones are actually more in the graphic design space. So take a look at all of these. That's kind of why they also probably put it first. Digital marketing is also another huge one. And then I would say writing and translation is also a big one, which as long as you're good with some articles and making articles, that's also a huge one for bloggers to purchase. So check out those areas and kind of those specialty services. All right, let's take a look at another one here. If you enjoy kind of thrift shopping or bargain hunting, you could buy things from garage sales, wholesale sites, and estate sales and resell them. So for example, things like flipping furniture, you could do this type of work. And the amount that you'll make will vary from the types of pieces you do to the supplies and things that you have. Also, there's a lot of work that's involved because you have to go ahead and get those furniture pieces. And if you don't have a van, that might be more difficult, or a truck of some sort. So some furniture flippers, they can make between $50 to $500 per month, because you do one or two pieces, you can make a couple $100. There's others that make a lot more because they're doing a lot of them. But, let's say $200 with a furniture piece is possible. And if you do quite a handful of them, there's people that write in, hey, I make $2,000 a month, I make $5,000 a month. But again, it depends on the pieces you do, how skilled you are with buying them, selling them, redoing them, and what you can really get for them in your market. So for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. All right, here's another one, another idea for you. Are you crafty, or do you like creating things? So if you're more into like jewelry, stickers, wooden crafts, painting, wall decor, paper crafts, you could sell them on Etsy. So Etsy is a huge thing out there. And if you've never heard of it, it's basically things you kind of make by hand or by template, but there's a lot of stuff like holiday decor sales, jewelry sales, kids' toys, ornaments. Right now we're getting into the Christmas season, but you can see there's a lot of handmade things. There's a lot of stuff with wood related, like shelves. There's things with quilling or greeting cards or art cards, anything paper related projects. And even wedding favors. So here's a bunch of wedding favors that you could see. And if you check this out, there's just a ton of stuff out there. So people will hand make a lot of these things. So if you have wedding favors that you need done, a lot of people go to a specific person, and then they'll make 300 boxes of this or that, or 300 wedding favors. And then for the wedding, you'll have them kind of made. So think of it as like a personal employee that does that specific task for you. And that's what Etsy is really powerful about. So if you want kind of like these magnets, I guess, or coasters, you could get them kind of printed there as well. So there's a lot of great things there. But again, if you're crafty, that may be a better fit and more suited for you. How about if you're more of an animal person? If you like working with animals, or maybe you're in a neighborhood where there's a lot of people with animals, maybe you've got to know some of your neighbors. There's a lot of people that go on vacation. They may need people to pet sit, walk their dog, watch their cat. It happens. So if that's the case and you can connect with those people, then you can definitely make a little bit of extra income on the side from pet sitting, dog walking, watching cats, and just periodically as needed, as long as you have those connections. There's also other websites out there that will do this kind of like Airbnb, but for pets and pet sitters, that you could also have an Airbnb for your pets, and you can do some searches for those, and they will come up. So let's take a look at our next one here, and this is the final one that I have here for you, and that's about fixing things. If you like fixing things, if you like working with your hands, or working around the house. You could offer handyman services either for the elderly or just be a repairman or help people move. Again, depending on the location and area, you can make $50 to $80 per hour, sometimes a little bit more. From Thumbtack, they talk about it between $50 to $70 per hour. And again, it will just vary. National average in the States here is about $60 per hour. So anyways, it's all just really about figuring out what makes sense for you based on those things we talked about, like the things you like, you don't like, the resources you have available to you, what's going on around you in your marketplace and what you could do. Now, if you don't have those things, but you have access to the internet, you might decide to go onto the online freelancing space and either do some writing. Again, hopefully you're good at writing. If not, you might want to learn a little bit more to craft things of what do bloggers really need, or what do maybe as far as teaching math and science, you could still do those things online, or teaching kids music theory if you're good at music. So all of those things can really work wonders for you as a side hustle if you do even just one of them. But imagine stacking them, doing 1, 2, or 3 of them together. Now you could start to bring in some additional income and revenue depending on how far you want to take it. Always think about kind of the evolution of where you want to take this, if you just want to do it for 1 or 2 months just to save up for something, or if you're actually looking to expand it more into a longer term, more serious business. Then in that case, you could take the longer term approach where, hey, see how other services could overlap with one another. Maybe doing and posting the same type of services on different websites, and really just building up your clientele for a recurring business. So things like wedding favors, it's probably a one-time purchase, but other things like music, teaching art, those could be kind of recurring, where you could get 5 or 7 or 20 sales over the course of a year from one customer. And that's where the lifetime value of a customer really starts to add up. So I want to thank you so much for joining me in this video and episode. And if you want to see some other great videos that I have, check out our website below. All right, thanks again, and I will see you next time.